Can you honestly say you love 100% about everything that you do about your job? There's certain things that you absolutely love, and there's other things that you can deal without. But you gotta crave that end result so intensely that the work becomes irrelevant. A person that wants to be a cleaner, they kind of show themselves. Okay, they kind of show. They're not the ones hiding. They're not the ones constantly celebrating. They're the ones that, you know, they're the ones that show up early. They're the ones that leave. They're the ones that leave late. But it's not just about. You get people that say, "Oh, listen, I gotta, you know, you don't have to work. You don't have to work harder. You got to work smarter." No, you got to work harder and you got to work smarter. You got to do both of them. It's not a substitute. You're not substituting one. So when you find those individuals, they're the ones that come in. They're not easily distracted. Yep. All right, they come in. They ask for more work. They're the ones you want to put. They're the ones that are asking for pressure situations. They're the ones that are not always. They're not the ones that are always celebrating. They're not worried about when you criticize them or when you give them feedback. They go, "I got it," and they're going to improve themselves. And they constantly show that here's the end result. Everyone has a dark side. Everybody has a dark side. All right, we've all been through something. All right, and it's how you handle that situation determines what kind of individual you're going to become. You have individuals that make excuses all the time. I came from a broken home. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. And you got other individuals that take that, hey, my mom raised me or my dad raised me, and they take that as motivation, as power to say, watch me. I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm not going to let that hold me back. It's not an excuse. That's your dark side. But what happens is the more successful you become, the less people care about your problems. You know, they look at your house, they look at the money, they look at the car, and they're like, "Oh, he's got it all." They don't care. They don't understand that you have the same issues that everybody else has, but people don't understand that because they think this is the cure-all for it all. It's not the cure-all for it. Right. It's not, and it's fun. The more successful you become, the less people you can talk to things about because they don't want to hear it.
Sure, exactly.
They don't want to hear it. Yeah. But it's funny, once you start hanging around people that have your same ideas, same goals, are same as successful, watch how the conversation changes with them. Everyone wants a pat on their back for doing the things that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay? That's it. Everybody, hey, they want to get acknowledged for the things they're supposed to do. You get somebody that applies for an application for a job, you know, first thing on their resume, I'm a hard worker. That's your top thing. That's what you're starting with. No one wants to grind. You can't get the end result without the grind. It might not be a physical grind, but it's sure in hell it's going to be a mental. Cleaners have to finish. That's one of their most intense qualities. They have to finish. Don't settle for watches. Don't settle for cars. Don't settle for houses. Settle for timepieces, settle for automobiles, and settle for estates. But if you really want to set some goals and you're willing to do what it takes and sacrifice to put yourself around there and not worry about hurting feelings. Okay, this is no BS, and this isn't about feelings. Because I always say this, emotions make you weak. Okay, and a lot of people attack people's emotions because that's where they can control you. They can control you. All right, think bigger. Think better. Don't think homes. Think estates. Don't think cars. Think automobiles. Don't think watches. Think timepieces. All right, because like what you said is the way it all starts with a thought. The goals that they set for themselves is so much higher than anybody else is going to set for them. Yeah. So they only compete against themselves. You know, this is what closers look in the mirror, okay, and they say, that's my competition. It's the cleaners look in the mirror and see themselves, and what they don't see, that's their competition, okay? Your competition is what you're willing not to look at. Or you can look at somebody else's company's financial records, all that stuff is available. It's what you're not willing to see That's what separates those individuals. You're competing against yourself. You're setting unrealistic goals and expecting to achieve. You have these schools, and I bring this up all the time because a lot of individuals are watching this, they have kids. Our society is teaching individuals incorrectly in this stage. You have schools that have no-cut policies in sports. All right. You have to sign a waiver to say you can only say positive thing. So what are we teaching individuals? You get a trophy for participating, for 16th place. Everyone gets a trophy. All right, and then you get the one mother who shows up and says, hey, my kid didn't get a trophy. Well, your kid was only here one time, and she's arguing with the coach. All right, we're going to give you a trophy. Winning and competing matters. It matters. All right, 30 people apply for a job. 30 people are not getting the job. One person's getting the job. All right, so if you don't teach competitiveness and how important it is at a young age, when they hit adversity, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it because you can't do everything for them all the time. You know, you hear fathers all the time with daughters, and, you know, I have them, and it's all about, listen, daddy's little girl, you know. It is daddy's little girl, but you got to let daddy's little girl and daddy's boy figure stuff out on their own. You protect them, you provide for them, but you got to let them figure shit out on their own.